There's one last election thing I want to point out. This interesting sort of prop in Texas that would allow these tax exemptions for boomers. Did you see this? Like, if you're over the age of 60, okay, you get additional tax exemptions. This is something that California has. California has a property tax law that locks in your property tax value from the time you purchase your home. So you have a lot of these older Californians sitting on property that they bought in like the 1970s, paying property taxes based on 1970s valuations, while the rest of the state and any new home buyers have to pay, orders of magnitude above that, which it comes at a severe price for younger home buyers, younger people in general. So, okay, is this important? Or how important is this? Boomers, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Can you please just not be selfish for 5 minutes challenge? What do we do about this?
Well, it's so frustrating. And I think it's just another indicator that the GOP establishment remains a brain dead establishment. And they're operating on a political framework that hasn't changed since the 1980s. And in this case, in California, tax rates that haven't changed since the 1980s. And it's bad for the country. And I think it's bad for young people. And in this sense, and it ties in with Mamdani's pitch, which is about affordability. And Mamdani's pitch is young people can't afford to live, can't afford to dream. And while that is like the most dystopian, Orwellian, kind of vaguely, Soviet tier sloganeering that he's not going to deliver on,
right.
The general sense of frustration that he's tapping into is correct. Because let's say you're a 25-year-old kid, you're looking at buying a house. Well, home prices in a lot of places have doubled since 2020, tripled since 2015. Interest rates are now pushing, 7-8%, depending on your credit score and whatnot. And you're looking at this kind of impossible situation. And then at the same time, boomers who own their home outright are getting a tax break on their property tax. It's like, what are we doing? We're basically just catering our society towards boomers. And in one sense, look, boomers vote, although their share of the vote will decline over time. And so in one sense, it's just simple kind of transactional politics. But what you need is a conservative response that taps in to a broader demographic. I think Trump did a really good job during the 2024 election, broadening the racial demographics, broadening the age demographics. Young men were in his corner, Latinos, especially Latino men were in his corner. He had great inroads with black men. Just do that. And a lot of the establishment on our side is just resistant to figure out what works for Trump. And they, at their peril, they dismiss Trump as a purely kind of personality phenomenon.